Time now for a Phillies flashback, the best of the vet.
The Phillies went from a last-place finish in 1992 to a first-place finish in '93. It was a feat that surprised everyone except themselves.
Well, they picked us for last, which was perfect for us. You know, it gave us a little more fodder to work in the clubhouse.
We knew we could score runs coming into that season. We had no problem doing that. We just didn't know if we can keep people from scoring runs. We knew if we got any pitching at all that we could contend because we were going to score a bunch of runs.
The club won 97 games that season and won a division title for the first time in a decade. They would play the Atlanta Braves for the National League pennant.
They were the team to beat. They were becoming America's team, you know. And I think just the history of our '93 team, we didn't care about that. We didn't care who we were playing.
The Phils were not intimidated at all with the Braves' mystique and took a 3-game to 2-game lead in the series. Game 6 was at the Vet, where the Phillies held a 6-3 lead in the ninth. Mitch Williams was on the mound and was about to make history.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out! Phillies are the '93 National League champions!
Join us next week for another Phillies flashback from Veterans Stadium. Time now for a Phillies flashback, the best of the vet.
For 8 seasons as a Philly, Lenny Dykstra gave everything he had and left it on the field. As a leadoff hitter, Lenny was one of the Phillies' best ever.
He was a perfect, ideal, whatever you want to say, leadoff hitter. He not only got on base with a walk, you know, he'd take a pitch and get hit. He could hit a home run.
A well-hit ball to deep center field. Nixon back. It's out of here.
1993 was a special year for the team and for Lenny. That season, he batted .305 and had career highs in walks with 129 and runs scored with 143.
You take Lenny Dykstra off that team, we don't even sniff postseason. That's how good he was.
Lenny took his game to another level in the postseason. He batted .314 with 6 homers, 10 RBI, and scored 14 runs.
A stand-up double for the dude, Lenny Dykstra.
The number of home runs he hit for a guy who's not a home run hitter. The number of runs he drove in for a guy who was a leadoff hitter. The number of runs he scored. It's one of the greatest postseasons by any leadoff man ever.
Ball is out of here. Home run, Lenny Dykstra.
Join us next week for another Phillies flashback from Veterans Stadium. Time now for a Phillies flashback, the best of the vet.
Sitting high above Veterans Stadium are some of the most enthusiastic baseball fans in the country who display a unique style of fan participation.
I have not seen this anywhere else. Each new player that comes up, he has that opportunity to look up one night and find that he's got a new fan group.
Since it started with the Wolfpack and the Wood Brothers early on when Randy Wolf first came up, now they're cropping up all over.
The Wolfpack, Millwoods Militia, and Padilla Flotilla are just some of the fan groups you see at the Vet today. But back in 1998, Kurt Schilling was the first player to have his own fan group, known as the Schillometer Guys. But it was the Wolfpack who set the standard for today's fan clubs, whose membership is at its largest.
We accept the walk-ups. They're fans, you know. We accept it. They walk up and they stand with us. The only thing is we ask them to stay like a seat or two away because they're not too up with the dances, you know.
Not every player has their own fan club, so the generic fan group covers the void.
We want to do one for everyone. We're the generic fan group. We love everybody!
For some reason, I get a kick out of the generic fan club. It's generic. It's beautiful.
Join us next week for another Phillies flashback from Veterans Stadium. Time now for a Phillies flashback, the best of the vet.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
For 33 years, Harry Kalas has been the voice of Phillies baseball. He was at the Vet's opening day and will be there when the final out is made. Over 3 decades of memories have been seen through the eyes of Harry Kalas.
to have the opportunity to follow the entire Hall of Fame career of Mike Schmidt and watch Steve Carlton take the mound here and watch Tug get that final out in the 1980 World Series. I'm going to have many, many fond memories of the old vet.
Harry and longtime friend Richie Ashburn were broadcast partners for 27 seasons before Whitey passed away in 1997. Together, they had a style that the city of Philadelphia embraced.
One thing Whitey always brought to the telecast and broadcast was a sense of humor. I mean, besides his expertise of baseball, he brought a great sense of humor. So, you know, we did have a wonderful chemistry.
Like Whitey, on July 28, 2002, Harry was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
Now, that weekend last year, my feet never touched the ground. It's the ultimate honor in the game that I love so much, and I will never forget it. Join us next week for another Phillies flashback from Veterans Stadium.